Have you ever wondered what your future holds? Hi, I'm Futurist Dave Wild, and I'm here to equip you to be able to not only see that future, but to be able to create it. So, the first thing to take into account is that although you might see a bright future ahead, not everyone sees that. And as a leader, it's really important to help move people from seeing the future like this. Or let's be honest, for a lot of people, it's not just the future that feels like that. For all of us, at times, life and work can feel like this. And that creates stress. And stress can pull us down, pull us backwards. What we actually need is energy. We want energy to move forward. But as you see those two words, you're probably getting a sense of the connection between the two. Because yes, this volatility, this change can sap your energy, but actually you can also use that change, the excitement of new possibilities, and flip it around and energize yourself, your team, your organization. That begins by understanding the nature of the world that we're operating in. So we know there are volatile conditions, that change is getting faster than ever, and that's because of these constant technology shifts which connect us more but also create more pressure as a leader. So how do you shift that to be able to use it to your advantage? Well, first thing is to recognize that no matter how you see change, how you see technology, many of the people that you're leading, this is what the future looks like to them. Whether it's technology or biology, when things are changeable and unpredictable, creates that stress. However, you're able to reframe that, not just for yourself, but for others. So that volatility, that unpredictability actually opens up new possibilities, the chance to create change, to make a better organisation, a better world ultimately. And it all begins with a mindset. Or more correctly, it begins by not having a mindset, because that's the problem. The word set means fixed in a specified place or position. So in an age where the world's changing on you, we don't actually want people to have mindsets. Sure, you need a strong foundation, but you then need to be able to shift, to flex, to adapt to those changing conditions. Again, we need to know where we're heading, but not exactly how to get there. Because when the conditions shift or change, we need to recognize at times we have to find quieter waters, but at other times we have to dig in and push forward. So think about the way that you paddle forward in the world, and it's flexing in different directions. Same thing with our minds. So mind flex, not mindset. We need to bend, move, or stretch in order to exercise, not just our bodies, but also our minds. Think about it in a neurological level. So as you hear ideas, new possibilities, they're traveling through your mind, but often over well-worn synaptic connections. You're hearing ideas that validate with things you already know. If the world changes on us, we need the ability to create new pathways, new ways forward, not just for ourselves, but for others. Think about that same thing in the physical world. As much as people talk about new directions and fresh perspectives and blue sky thinking and thinking outside the box, they follow those well-worn pathways, meeting with the same kind of people, following the same kind of processes, until change is forced on us, and then that change just becomes the norm again. So actually, mind flex means the ability to constantly flex your mind, to not wait for the change to happen, but to see the possibilities around you, to recognize that our minds are ultimately so small and there are so many possibilities around us that we can connect into as a leader. So that requires having a different way of working. Kind of a mindset, really. It's like a hammer. It can be really strong, really forceful and brilliant at times, but if your only tool is a hammer, then every problem ends up looking like a nail. So what we need in this complex environment is a more flexible set of skills. So rather than a mindset, it's having this mind flex. You don't change the world through thought alone, so it's not just about thinking differently, it's about operating differently. Mind flex enables you as a leader to be more strategic, to be more visionary, to naturally innovate and collaborate with others, doing it in inclusive and digital ways, ultimately so that you and your team and your organisation can adapt and have a greater impact. I like to think of a MindFlex as being a toolkit for the future of work. And some of the concepts you may have heard before, but it's also a very different way of operating. Here's one example. So often people talk about being inclusive, as if it's almost the opposite to operating digitally. But if you think about it, we're operating digitally now. We actually are all naturally digital. These are digits we have. So the ability to use digital in the right way can actually make you even more inclusive as a leader. So fundamentally, this ability to mind flex is about leaping forward. That word leap helps you understand the 4 different directions to flex your mind in, to be able to progressively look forward, to be able to leverage information around you, to think more expansively, and ultimately think with active thoughts that create change in the world. And those build back out to that set of future work skills that we've just ever so quickly taken a look at. But it's not just about change at a personal level, it's actually at an organisational level. This builds out a set of capabilities. So the ability for the organisation to be able to sense market shifts, to understand diverse audiences, to solve these complex challenges, ultimately to be able to create valuable change. So are you ready to create that valuable change? Because we'd love to equip you to be able to do it. And I'll see you there in the future.